Welcome to another edition of Educated Parenting. I'm your host, Adrienne Watson Carver.
And I'm Frances Bond.
Today's program will focus on student testing and assessment in Baltimore County Public Schools. In the past several years, parents have heard a great deal about tests that are administered in public schools. With the unprecedented emphasis on testing, the stakes have become very high for students and school leaders. In the past 10 years, standards in testing have dominated much discussion in quality of public education.
This is so true, Adrienne. Many parents who have students in Baltimore County Public Schools want to know more about the assessment program and specifically the types of tests their children are taking and how the test results are used. So today, we'll discuss these questions with Grace Chesney, who's the Executive Director of Research, Accountability, Assessment, and Data Warehouse in Baltimore County Public Schools.
Thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate you coming. Let me begin by asking you, why has test taking become so pronounced in public school education?
Testing itself hasn't become more pronounced. The different kinds of assessments are being administered. You know, historically we had spelling tests on Friday, chapter tests, unit tests. We did take the ACT and the SAT. The thing that's different now is the accountability and the reporting. So that's what looks different. So students are still taking formative and summative assessments, but the difference is in the reporting and accountability.
Well, I also was wondering what type of tests are administered to kindergarten students, first and second grade students, and what are we trying to measure through these tests?
Okay, so in kindergarten, first and second grade, we have diagnostic tests for reading, letter recognition, number recognition, phonics, reading, things of that nature. We have formative assessment tests, which the district refers to as short cycles, that assess what the students have recently learned. They're 1 to 10 questions that guide instruction. Then we have formative assessments that assess what has been taught during a unit or during a chapter.
Now, when students go on then to third grade and intermediate grades and also high school, then how does the whole testing scenario change for them? And again, you know, it's not only the test, but what are the results? How are they used?
Okay, there are formative and summative assessments administered in grades 3 through 8 also, in reading and mathematics, science, and social studies. There are state assessments that are administered in grades 3 through 8 for math and for reading. In grade 5 and 8, there's also a science test that's administered. And how are these results used? Well, the formative assessments, again, guide instruction. The summative assessments state whether or not the students have learned the material. How are these assessments used? Some of them are used for grading purposes, but again, some of these are used to guide instruction. As far as the state assessments are concerned, they don't impact a student's grade and they don't impact promotion. They're used to more so at the school and the district level as far as reporting are concerned.
Mm-hmm. So how are the MSA then? Is that going to still be the state standardized test next year? Because
Yes.
There's some talk about phasing that out eventually.
The MSA will be the state assessment until 2014.
I did have one other question. Are the tests used to determine whether or not a child may be placed in AP classes or in gifted and talented programs?
As far as gifted and talented are concerned, students, the tests are one part of it, but also teacher recommendation, parent recommendation, the course that the student is currently in, their performance in that course. So assessments are just one part of the decision making.
What about the high school test? I know this is something that all students at the end of their high school years must take. Talk a little bit about that and how important that is.
So again, at the high school, they're formative and summative assessments. They also have final exams in their courses. Then we have state assessments, the HSAs for algebra, biology, and for English that are administered at the end of the course. There might also be 7th and 8th graders that take the algebra HSA. Students do have to pass those assessments in order to graduate or earn a combined score of 1208. So those do have an impact, and there are other ways that students can meet that graduation requirement.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Grace. I'm certain that our parents will have gained a better understanding of testing in Baltimore County Public Schools.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll be right back with another guest who will give suggestions to parents on how to improve their children's test-taking skills. And Frances will give us our tip of the day. Stay with us.
And now, another adventure with Savings Man.
Oh dear, I can't afford that.
Charge it. You can pay it off later.
Not so fast, credit card guy.
Savings Man.
Don't let him entice you, ma'am. Credit card guy can lead you to big trouble. You need a savings plan.
You're right, Savings Man.
Get this ballpark estimate worksheet at choosetosave.org. It will help you get started.
Gee, thanks, Savings Man.
No, thank you.
So visit choosetosave.org and get your ballpark estimate today.
Behind the wheel, there is no such thing as a small distraction. A public service reminder from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. Speak out against distracted driving at decidetodrive.org.
Welcome back. Our next guest is Arlene Bourne, a resource teacher at Deer Park Elementary School, who will give us some suggestions for improving children's test-taking skills. Welcome, Arlene, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let me jump right in. I want to ask you a question that has affected my family, and I'm sure is of interest to many families. My daughter often becomes a little anxious when she knows she's about to take a test. What can you tell me to do to help my child be a little bit more relaxed at test-taking time?
Test-taking has become a major component of student evaluation, and we must solicit the support of one of our key stakeholders, and that's the parent population. When you look at what parents can do at home, there are basically two areas. One being meeting the physical needs. The other, parents can assist us in helping children with their emotional needs. The physical needs pretty much encompass making sure they get a good night's sleep and being certain that they eat a good breakfast before the test. When we look at the emotional needs, we're taking a look at making sure that the home is a pleasant environment and that any unnecessary conflict is not around the child at that particular time. And we can almost encourage parents to spend quality time with the children. And when we look at activities that might involve quality time, it can be, let's engage in a conversation. Let's have a nice quiet walk. Let's spend some time with a family pet. Let's water the plants. And regardless of what your quality time might consist of, the key is to keep the communication between the parent and the child positive.
That's very good ideas. Is there anything else that parents can do, though, to ensure that their children are doing the best they can when they have a test to take?
One thing that parents can always do is to reassure, support, and affirm children. And when we motivate them, it encourages them to want to strive to do better. And all of that falls under that umbrella of the meeting the emotional needs of the child, to reaffirm and support and tell them a good job. And if they've made a mistake, that let's look at what you did well. And then let's kind of be solution oriented. And this is what we need to do to make things better and have a plan in place.
That's great ideas, great ideas. Where can parents go then if they want more information about helping their child to take tests and being relaxed and the whole issue of the MSA and such?
One of the most valuable resources that I have found is on the Baltimore County website, and that's www.bcps.org. Click down, you will see parent support services. Excellent resources in terms of testing and what parents can do at home to assist before, during, and even after the test, how they can assist their child. One thing that we do at Deer Park Elementary is that we have exposed our parents to the Maryland School Improvement website, which is mdk12.org. It gives a background of information in terms of what the test is, why they have the test, and the beauty of the website is there are sample activities across grade levels, reading and mathematics, that children can complete and that families can complete together. Excellent websites, both of them.
Well, we encourage parents then to check out these websites because I think that they'll get valuable information along with the valuable information that you shared with us.
Thank you so much for being here with us, Arlene, and I'm sure that our parents will be able to utilize the information that you shared. Francis, are you ready to give us our tip of the day?
I am. Our tip of the day is making reading a high priority in your household. Success at school and later in life depends on children's ability to read and comprehend. Plan opportunities and activities that will make reading fun and exciting, and that will open doors to new worlds and will develop lifelong readers. Adrienne will give suggestions for making reading a priority in your home.
Thank you, Francis. Parents play a critical role in helping their children develop a love for reading. The following suggestions will help reading become a part of your family. First, limit your family's television viewing time and other electronic devices. Next, teach by example. If you have books or newspapers or magazines around your home and your child sees you reading, then your child will learn that you value reading. You can never overestimate the value of modeling. Do read together. Reading with your child is a great activity. It not only teaches your child that reading is important to you, but it also offers a chance to talk about the book and often other issues. Books can open the lines of communication between parent and child, no matter what the age of the child. Hit the library. My family and I love the library. Try finding library books about current issues or interests in your family's life or in your child's life, and then read them together. There are many ways to include reading in your child's daily life. Focus on activities that your child enjoys so that reading is a treat and not a chore. Before leaving today, we would like to thank our guests, Grace Chesney and Arlene Bourne, and thank you, our viewers, for watching another edition of Educated Parenting. Until next time, I'm Adrienne Watson Carver.
And I'm Frances Bond.
Bye for now.